This is WKYT This Morning.
Hey, good morning there. I'm Michelle Chamberlain.
I'm Bill Bryant. So good to have you with us. June 1st. It's Statehood Day here in the Commonwealth. You know, Kentucky founded this day, 1792.
So now at 6, the search continues this morning for a Southern Kentucky man who went missing after his canoe capsized in the Rockcastle River.
Also, Lexington police are investigating 2 separate gas station robberies that have happened this morning, one in the last half hour.
And renovation plans for the historic Fayette County Courthouse were released last week, but later today, you'll have a chance to give the city your thoughts.
It's a pretty good looking day in store for this morning, at least. Afternoon, there's a little bit of a different story. Let's talk about what we're seeing right now. Beautiful start today, another gorgeous sunrise. Afternoon 87, couple of rumbles, especially as we head off towards your evening. I'm going to break down the timing of that and show you how you can plan around these storms the next few days coming up.
Here's the latest now from WKYT News.
Search teams will return to the Rockcastle River today to look for a man who disappeared when his canoe capsized.
But they are running into some challenges and difficulties with their search. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our live desk to explain that. Mark, good morning.
Water is making it hard for search crews to reach the area where that boat capsized. When the boat flipped, the man's son made it to safety, but his 70-year-old father is still missing this morning. He disappeared in the river 12 hours ago. Search crews started looking for the elderly man around 6 last night. His son walked for hours to get help after their boat capsized in the Rockcastle River. They went under after their canoe hit a tree and flipped. The men were trying to gather their equipment when the 70-year-old vanished. Search teams looked for him until the sun went down, and they will start looking for the 70-year-old again later this morning.
They're upriver in a Zodiac and trying to access where the canoe flipped over at. My understanding is there's some rough water and they're trying to get another access to get closer.
The missing man is from Southern Kentucky. Emergency management officials say he was on the river with his son for an overnight camping trip. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Thank you, Mark. New this morning, frightening moments for Lexington gas station clerk following an overnight robbery. It happened just before midnight at the Marathon gas station on South Broadway when an armed robber ran into the store demanding money from the clerk. Moments later, police say the suspect hit the clerk with a gun, claiming she was taking too long. Once the suspect got some cash, police say he took off and was last seen heading towards Man o' War Place apartments. Police say the clerk was not injured. And within the last hour, we've learned there's been another overnight robbery at a Lexington gas station. This time it happened at the Circle K on West Main Street on South Forbes. Police say the suspect entered the store with a shirt covering his face and implied he had a gun. The clerk was not injured, but police say the man was able to get away with roughly $100 in cash.
Also new on WKYT this morning, Lexington police say a parked car on Hollow Creek Road was badly damaged after a man driving a stolen vehicle crashed into it overnight. It all started after the owners of the stolen car spotted their vehicle at a gas station around 2 o'clock this morning. The owners then chased after the thief, but when he tried speeding away, police say the suspect crashed into the parked car. The suspect then took off running on foot. At last check, police are still searching for him. Lexington city officials will be holding a public meeting today, apparently outdoors. They'll be taking questions and listening to concerns over the city's plans to renovate the historic Fayette County Courthouse downtown.
The city released renovation plans for the vacant building last week, but now they're seeking input from the community before work begins. WKYT's Hillary Thornton joins us live with a look ahead to today's meeting. Good morning, Hillary.
Good morning. That meeting is set to take place in just a few hours here behind me at the Fifth Third Bank Pavilion in downtown Lexington. The pavilion's sitting just next to the old courthouse you can see over my shoulder. It is a building that has been sitting empty for about 4 years now. The former Fayette County Courthouse, built back in 1898, is now looking at a $30 million renovation. The meeting scheduled here today will give folks an opportunity to see renderings of the proposed renovation, as well as review and comment on an environmental remediation plan for the building. Now, Lexington did receive both federal and state money to address some environmental concerns, including lead, mold, and asbestos. As for what the building will house, some possible tenants for the renovated space in the heart of downtown Lexington include a Chef Weta Michael restaurant, Visit Lex, Breeders' Cup offices, as well as the city's Convention and Visitors Bureau. Plans for the top floor include space for weddings and other events. Last week, city leaders first unveiled the plans, explaining that $8 million of the renovation is coming from state and federal historic preservation tax credits, while $22 million has been approved in the city's current year budget. Lexington Mayor Jim Gray says this will be a revenue-generating and self-sustaining project. The meeting here is scheduled to start at noon, and leaders plan to take questions for about an hour. Live in Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
All right, Hillary, thank you. We have learned more about what may have led to a deadly ATV crash in Laurel County. Deputies say 17-year-old Cheyenne Bowles died shortly after arriving at the hospital Monday. Bowles and another 17-year-old who investigators say was driving went over a 15-foot embankment after losing control of the ATV coming down a hill. Deputies say the driver was injured but has since been released from the hospital. Friends say Bowles owned the ATV and that she had recently talked about the vehicle's brakes not working properly. Bowles would have been a senior at South Laurel High School this coming fall.
The man responsible, that police say is responsible for the brutal death of a Woodford County boy, will return to court this morning. Ronald Exantis is charged with the murder of 6-year-old Logan Tipton. Police say Exantis broke into the Tiptons' Versailles home and stabbed Logan to death last December. Exantis has pleaded not guilty to murder as well as burglary and assault. A judge will review the state's psychiatric evaluation of Exantis during today's hearing to determine whether he is psychologically competent to stand trial. Governor Matt Bevin and Attorney General Andy Beshear are facing yet another disagreement this morning.
Yeah, several states filed a lawsuit against the federal government over a federal directive which says schools should allow students to use bathrooms based on their gender identity. Last week, Governor Bevin's office announced Kentucky is joining that lawsuit. While attorney generals made the decision in most states, Governor Bevin claims Beshear refused to act. But Beshear says the governor never consulted him about the decision.
Ours was a state where our Attorney General is busy with a lot of lawsuits, but they seem to be focused on a different front. He's got his reasons for that. It's a little sad. It's kind of a waste of what the purpose of the job is.
At no point did the governor ever consult with us, email us, or ask us for a meeting. And so claiming that I refused to do something he never asked me to do and was reviewing is entirely and totally false.
Kentucky now joins 11 other states in that lawsuit.
Today we will find out which Kentucky counties will be selected for a post-election audit. The state attorney general is required by law to do a post-election audit following each primary and general election. Now the audit is a search for any potential irregularities during the election. Attorney General Andy Beshear will randomly select the counties that will participate at 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
It's pretty unbelievable. It is the first day of June. Absolutely incredible how fast this year is flying by. And what we're going to be looking at as we continue to travel off into June, more storms on the way. And absolutely, no doubt about it, we'll start to see those temperatures take the dive. So there's some good news for us. The recap of May weather. Now, this is for Lexington. Not everybody was like this, but for Lexington, average temperature right around 63 degrees for May. That's close to average. Average typically around 64, so we were just below that. Rainfall 6.49. We've had plenty of shots at rain. We are 1.59 inches above average. But remember, these are out at airports, okay? This is not your backyard. I know some of us are saying, well, I picked up way more than 6.49 inches of rain. And yeah, more than likely you did. I did in my backyard. So it just kind of depends on where you were. Frankfort actually came out less there than the average for rainfall. We're looking at Defender and not adding any rain to it anytime soon. We got to wait till the afternoon and off into the evening hours. It's actually a really nice start today. Dry start, so the roadways look pretty good. Have not heard of any issues whatsoever from Officer Don there at 98 when the Bull. We check in with him every so often, every 10 to 15 minutes to get you updated on that. We haven't heard any problems, so there you go. 87 by the afternoon. I would say the best chance to see some passing showers or thunderstorms, it's a 40% chance of rain today, which means 60% of us will be dry. So the best chance is anywhere from 5 p.m. to about 10 or 11 p.m. More often to the evening than, say, the afternoon. Nonetheless, you still got to watch out for that. A passing shower or thunderstorm. The headlines, the breakdown. The heat remains the next 48 hours. We've been talking about these cooler conditions, but that heat's with us today at 87, tomorrow at 82. Then that active pattern comes together, and that will bring us showers and thunderstorms there in the forecast, which will also allow those temperatures to cool down just a bit in the forecast as we head off towards your weekend. So some cooler air on the way, but remember, this isn't colder air. This is just cooler air. It actually knock us back down toward average, which is the mid-70s. So yeah, we're well above average now, but it goes back down toward average. Actually feel quite nice there in the 70s.
Yeah, and Mike is just standing here waiting for me to come on over. Don't you know women are late?
It's all
We're late
right,
for
man.
everything.
It's all right.
Okay, thanks for that, Micah. Each morning we bring you weather and traffic together. Here's Officer Don with a look what's happening on the roads. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. As Micah just said, no collisions right now. That's the great news. And the interstate still looks good. We checked it across the Clays Ferry Bridge. Also 64 coming in from Clark County and from Frankfort. And it seems to be a straight shot toward Lexington. Let's get a look at overall traffic flow in real time this morning. And we'll show you what's happening on Nicholasville Road, Harrodsburg Road. We can also see the north side of town, North Broadway off the interstate toward downtown. Construction continues downtown, of course. So, of course, that's something to be aware of if you're headed that way a little bit later, especially around lunchtime. Now, as far as our drive times go right now, coming in from Nicholasville, still dealing with about 12 minutes or so. No issues there, actually less than 12 right now at 11. Versailles is 11 minutes and Frankfort 26. Now back to you in the studio.
Okay, Don, thank you so much. 6:11 on WKYT this morning on the first day of June. We're glad to have you with us. A lot more news coming up.
Health officials are learning more about the first baby born with the Zika-linked birth defect in the United States. A look at their findings in 6 minutes.
Brought to you by CareSource, individual and family health insurance, caring for the Commonwealth.
Truckers high on the job.
Been raised with me because not only is he taking his life in his hands, he's taking my family's life and the general public.
An increasing danger that could threaten your summer road trips. High behind the wheel. Thursday at 6 on WKYT.
Spring is in full bloom. That means it's time to give your home a makeover. From bedroom closets, kitchen pantries, mudrooms, garages, and more, Closets by Design does it all. Call us today for a free in-home design consultation. Get organized with Closets by Design.
I roll my eyes like a lizard. A monkey would envy my tail. My wings wanna fly but swim instead. I'm a fish with a horse's head. You can see me in all my glory. Touch me and learn my story. In a world of wonder you'll explore. I'm a seahorse and so much more.
Discover the zany world of seahorses at the most interactive seahorse exhibit in the country. Visit the brand new Seahorses Unbridled Fun and see, touch, explore together at Newport Aquarium.
I'm a seahorse and so much more.
Ashley Home Store's best ever Memorial Day sale has been extended one final week. Through Monday only, take $100, $200, $500, up to $1,000 off your purchase. Plus, pay no interest for 12 months. Don't miss store-wide deals like this sectional only $6.99. This best-selling queen storage bed just $7.99. And this plush sofa now $8.99. Or pay 0% interest for 6 full years. No interest until 2022. Don't miss the final week of Memorial Day savings. It absolutely ends Monday. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Who says mornings can't be happy? Not us. Introducing the DQ Hardest Working Happy Hour with drinks that work even harder than you do, blending sweet flavors like never before. Only DQ has drinks that multitask in the morning even if you can't. Like $2 premium fruit smoothies, $2 ultimate frappes, and $1 iced coffees. Every weekday morning until 10:30 a.m. at your DQ. This is fan food, not fast food.
How do you craft the world's finest bed? It starts with luxurious materials, with attention to every detail. For quality you can feel, the same quality you've come to expect at Sleep Outfitters, where now you can save up to $600 on select Stearns & Foster mattresses. Plus, get 0% APR financing for 60 months. When you lie down on a Stearns & Foster bed, you'll appreciate everything we've put in, making it that much harder to get out. Stearns & Foster, available at Sleep Outfitters.
If you've been injured in an automobile accident and have legal questions, visit forthepeople.com to get answers to your questions. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Here's a fun way to control your luck. It's a game called Keno. You can start with $1. You pick your numbers, your odds, and your wager. And the winnings, well, they could be major. Just pick your numbers and hope you win. A few minutes later, you can play it again. Now play Keno wherever Kentucky Lottery games are sold.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. Like WKYT on Facebook.
If your home could use a spring makeover, call Closets by Design. Call us today and receive up to 40% off. Plus, if you schedule your appointment this week, your installation is free. There's never been a better time to call. Get organized with Closets by Design.
WKYT's First Alert Weather follows you wherever you go, on TV, online, on your phone, and throughout the day on Rewind 105.5.
Good morning. Welcome back in. WKYT this morning on the air. It is 6:15 on June 1st, and we're glad you're with us this morning.
Micah's showing me a picture of his kid. It made me all emotional. And no.
Well, being reunited with his cousin.
It was a sweet,
really
it was a
cool.
sweet video.
They got to see each other at the beach, and that was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was.
Brought you to tears.
It did. Like I'm on TV crying.
Good deal.
Okay.
More news now. Donald Trump is back on the campaign trail in California a day after a combative news conference in New York over money he raised for veterans earlier this year.
Trump's likely Democratic opponent Hillary Clinton seized the chance to attack, calling Trump's tendency to blast his critics a recipe for congressional gridlock. Hannah Daniels has more.
Donald Trump continued to rail against the media, hours after identifying veterans groups that received donations made on behalf of his foundation.
I raised $5.6 million for the vets. Instead of being thanked or being at least treated nicely by the press, I got the worst publicity.
Folds of Honor Foundation, $200,000.
CBS News has confirmed 32 of the 41 donations, totaling $4.4 million. At a news conference Tuesday, the presumptive GOP nominee verbally attacked reporters for questioning where the money went.
I've watched you on television. You're a real beauty. He's a sleaze, in my book. You're a sleaze.
Trump's likely Democratic opponent, Hillary Clinton, blasted the billionaire.
He's bragged for months about raising $6 million for veterans, but it took a reporter to shame him into actually making his contribution.
Yesterday, the former Secretary of State got a big boost ahead of California's primary next week with an endorsement from the state's governor, Jerry Brown. Still, Clinton's current rival, Bernie Sanders, insists the race is far from over.
We're going to go marching in to the Democratic convention with incredible momentum.
Clinton heads back to the Golden State tomorrow, looking to deny Sanders that momentum. Hannah Daniels, CBS News.
Health officials are learning more about the first baby born with a Zika-linked birth defect in New Jersey. Hospital administrators confirmed the baby was born Tuesday with microcephalia, also along with other ailments. The baby's mother, originally from Honduras, reportedly contracted the virus internationally. Cincinnati police are now investigating the parents of the 3-year-old boy who fell into the Cincinnati Zoo's gorilla exhibit over the weekend. Investigators say they want to know what the boy's parents were doing before he tumbled into the habitat. The story has become a national topic after video footage shows gorilla grabbing the boy and dragging him around the exhibit for nearly 10 minutes. Zoo officials eventually shot and killed the gorilla in order to save the boy's life. We'll have more on the investigation into the little boy's family coming up at 6:30.
A lot of people talking about that. Certainly our time this morning is 6:18 on WKYT. General Mills is recalling nearly 10 million pounds of flour, claiming the product may be linked to an E. coli outbreak in 20 states now. That recall covers multiple varieties of flour, including Gold Medal and Signature Kitchens. General Mills says E. coli has not been found in any of its flour products, but the recall was issued as a precaution. However, investigators say half of the people who got sick reported using flour before feeling ill. You can find more information about the recall on WKYT.com. The travel industry could take a hit from the latest terror alert. Just as Americans are planning their summer vacations, the State Department is warning of possible terrorist threats in Europe. The alert points to tourist sites, restaurants, and transportation as potential targets, as well as major events like the Tour de France. It's the dawn of a new era as surgery on pets is reaching an entirely new level now. Here is Alberta, the canine made entirely of synthetic material. Created by a company called Sendaver, the dog was made to provide veterinary students with anatomically correct bodies for surgical practice. The company makes synthetic human cadavers and all sorts of human body parts that medical students work on. Now they have moved on to pets. Well, 2/3 of Americans are planning to take their vacations closer to home. Wallet Hub compared 150 cities to find the most fun and affordable staycation spots. Based on recreation, entertainment options, and relaxation, Florida took the top 3 spots. Orlando had the highest score. They're near Disney. They were followed by Fort Lauderdale and by Tampa. So there you go.
Plenty of staycation opportunities around here as well.
That's right. Yeah, horses, history, and more, right? Here in
Don't
Kentucky.
forget bourbon, Bill.
Yeah,
bourbon.
well.
WKYT this morning is just getting started. Normally, a yard sale is contained to someone's driveway or yard, but an annual Missouri yard sale took it to the whole new level. You'll see that story coming up.
Kind of want to just step out of the way. That's a much better looking shot than you looking at me. Check that shot out. It's gorgeous this morning. Looks good here live in Lexington. We're going to go over your latest forecast and expect some storms the next few days. That's coming up.
Obviously. I don't want to be sad. I just want a cigarette so bad.
A season pass to Kentucky Kingdom is only $59.95. And with benefits like free parking and dollar drinks, a season pass pays for itself in just one visit. And enjoy the rest of the summer for free. Visit KentuckyKingdom.com or your local Kroger. 6 days left.
Mama. Don't you just love it?
Toyota started with an idea, and Prius changed the world. That led to the family-size Highlander and a hybrid version of Camry, America's best-selling car, 2 more Prius models, a luxurious Avalon, and now the first-ever RAV4 hybrid sport utility and the midsize 4th-generation Prius, the most dynamic, most responsive Prius ever. Toyota hybrids, now with 7 to choose from, starting at just $23.95. Toyota. Let's go places.
It's the final week of the Memorial Day sale at Sleep Outfitters. Enjoy 0% financing for 6 years and savings up to $600 on the best brands in bedding, including Visa prepaid gift cards up to $400 on select Tempur-Pedic purchases. Get this Sealy Pillow Top Queen set with gel foam on sale for just $4.99, plus a free TV. 0% for 6 years, free TVs, free gift cards, and free upgrades during the final sale days of our Memorial Day sale at Sleep Outfitters.
I'm doing something to help the environment.
I'm managing my energy costs.
And I get free energy bill credits.
Simple Saver.
800-305-5493.
SimpleSaver.coop.
A message from your Kentucky Touchstone Energy Cooperatives.
DQ funnel cake a la mode? Hold on!
Funnel cake has a new home. The DQ Bakes new funnel cake a la mode with the world-famous DQ soft serve and your favorite topping. This is fan food, not fast food.
Funnel cake a la mode.
America's most anticipated coaster. Storm Chaser, our 5th coaster, only at Kentucky Kingdom. Because all that really matters is the thrill.
Welcome back into WKYT this morning, 6:23, bright and early now on June 1st.
2 armed robberies are under investigation in Lexington this morning.
And that's what's trending at this hour. The first robbery happened just before midnight at the Marathon on South Broadway. And the second has happened this morning at the Circle K on West Main Street. It's been within the last hour. Police say both suspects are still on the loose. It is a beautiful start to this first day of June, and let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, it's a really neat start. Once again, we have a nice sunrise here in Lexington. Now, this is about 50, 60 feet up on our live sky camera looking due east. It's a beautiful shot. Frankfort looks good this morning. Jackson, how cool is that? That valley fog, typically you get valley fog, but yeah, it's a really nice start to the day. 66 degrees right now in Breathitt County, and that goes for places in Knott County, Pippa Passes, Hyman. Good morning to you guys. And back towards, say, Floyd County and Prestonsburg, all looks well out at the golf course there in Prestonsburg. 62 degrees as you work your way down into the London Corbin area. So here's the deal. We get into the 60s again this morning. A nice start to the day. No rain out there early this morning, so those dry roadways will be good to go. Pretty warm there by midday at 81. That's exactly where we were yesterday at midday. And then we look toward the afternoon at 87. Guys, a couple of rumbles of thunder today. I would say 5 p.m. to about 10 p.m. is the best chance to actually see a few passing rumbles of thunder. You can have a couple here or there before that, but that's the best timing. But remember, that's about 40%. Most of us do stay dry. Louder and cooler days ahead. That means thunderstorms. That means a cool front. It's going to be barreling on in here. How far do our temperatures go down? When do these storms arrive? And how much rain are we expecting for all those events? I have a list of events that I go through during my forecast, and I'm going to talk all about those coming up in about 10 minutes.
All right, Mike, I think one of those is that the US 25 yard sale is going to be in this area starting tomorrow and going into the weekend. And many Americans use the Memorial Day holiday to get out of town. Some decided to spend their long weekend shopping.
Yeah, just ask those who attended one of Missouri's biggest yard sales. The 100-mile sale stretched from Jackson, Missouri to Kennon, Missouri along Highway 25. People came from around the country to attend this massive sale. It's held every Memorial Day weekend, and this year marked the 31st year of the yard sale's existence. That would be fun. 100 miles.
Exactly. Never know what you'll find along the way, right?
Well, that's just not safe for someone like me who likes to go yard sale shopping, so.
Make good deals.
Could spend a lot of time there. Okay, so on your mark, get set, go pro.
The Cincinnati Zoo posted this video giving us a cat's eye view of what it would be like to be one of the fastest animals on the planet. Look at that. Trainers outfitted one of the zoo's cheetahs with a GoPro camera and just let it rip, taking viewers on that incredible ride. So that is their vantage point.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a GoPro on you so people see what your day is like and see how busy you are.
I move along all right, don't I?
You do. I think it would be fun to watch you, Bill.
Not quite like a cheetah, but you know.
Come on.
Oh.
You've got speed. I've seen you run through the studio.
Well, when you need to. Wednesday morning on WKYT, the 1st of June. It's good to have you with us, and we have a lot more news coming up for you.
Yeah, when WKYT This Morning returns, we've learned more about one of the victims injured in a Knox County shooting. Those details coming up at 6:30.
All of our top stories are coming right up, and tonight's Powerball jackpot is $100 million. Friday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $251 million. Keep it here on WKYT This Morning.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. WKYT.
WKYT is putting the new back in late news with newer stories and more updates. So there's less repetition, which means no wasted time. WKYT News at 11. Newer, fresher, worth staying up for.
It's held over, the Lazy Boy Memorial Day sale. Everything's marked down for a limited time only. Get amazing savings store-wide on great-looking sofas, chairs, tables, and more. Plus special financing available. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
All right, come on, everybody. It's time to go.
Getting more for your money is simpler than you might think. When you shop at Kroger, you get low prices throughout the store, weekly specials, great value from our quality brands, digital coupons, and even fuel points to help you save at the pump. No spin, just savings.
With low prices and weekly deals, saving is so easy at Kroger. Come in and cross more off your list for less. Just look for the tags and save. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
You never know when you're going to have plumbing issues. When you have plumbing problems, there's only one company to call, H2O Maestro. All plumbing jobs, big or small, clogs, leaks, or repairs, we're everywhere in central Kentucky. 24/7, 365. Need a new water heater or interested in a water filtration system? Call now for a free estimate. H2O Maestro, a Fayette Heating and Air Company. Same great 24/7 service you expect for plumbing.
Flowers are important because they cheer people up, they make people feel better, they say sorry in a really easy way. And that's important to me because if someone's celebrating the birth of a baby or a graduation or some huge success, I get to be a part of that celebration. But every customer wants to be treated like you know them or like you are their friend. I promise, if you come in and get a bouquet from me, it will be fresh, colorful, made with care, and made with you in mind. Hi, I'm Amber, and I'm from the Portland Kroger.
My husband and I do our best to make the world we live in a better place. We recycle,
drive a hybrid car,
and we love to shop at our local farmers market.
So when it came to where we actually live, we knew we had to get a home loan from someone we could trust.
Someone who supports our community and cares about us, not their bottom line.
University of Kentucky Federal Credit Union. It's banking, only better.
Getting more for your money is simpler than you might think. When you shop at Kroger, you get low prices throughout the store, weekly specials, great value from our quality brands, digital coupons, and even fuel points to help you save at the pump. No spin, just savings.
With low prices and weekly deals, saving is so easy at Kroger. Come in and cross more off your list for less. Just look for the tags and save. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
It's held over, the Lazy Boy Memorial Day sale. Everything's marked down for a limited time only. Get amazing savings store-wide on great-looking sofas, chairs, tables, and more. Plus special financing available. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
WKYT's First Alert Weather follows you wherever you go, on TV, online, on your phone, and throughout the day on Mix 94.5.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning and up, Kentucky. It's your birthday, Statehood Day in the Commonwealth on June 1st. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Michelle Chamberlain. Happy birthday, Kentucky, right?
Founded on this day in 1792.
Great place to live.
Good to have you with us at 6:31 now. The parents of a little boy who fell into a gorilla exhibit over the weekend are now being investigated by Cincinnati police.
Lexington city officials will be taking questions from the community today over the city's plans for the new Fayette County Courthouse.
And the search continues for a missing father who disappeared after his canoe capsized.
Yeah, it's a good looking start to the day as you walk out the door. I see no problems whatsoever for you. So we are dry this morning. Awesome looking sunrise out there early this morning. We drive off into the afternoon, 87 degrees. A couple of rumbles in the forecast. This starts and sparks. Got a round of showers and thunderstorms the next few days. We're going to go over that forecast and show you all these events and how you can plan around those coming up.
All right, a good start to this first day of June. In the news this morning, police say they plan to question the parents of a young child who fell into that gorilla exhibit at the Cincinnati Zoo over the weekend.
Zookeepers shot and killed the gorilla who pulled the child through water, and of course this has sparked a lot of controversy throughout the nation. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our live desk this morning with the newest developments in the story. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Michelle. Some people are so angry that the rare 17-year-old gorilla was killed, they're now threatening to kill the parents of the 4-year-old who fell into the gorilla's exhibit. After the gorilla was shot on Saturday, police said they would not charge the parents. However, they now say they are trying to figure out if the parents should be charged. Police say their investigators are trying to figure out if the parents were negligent or reckless. On Saturday afternoon, the 4-year-old boy climbed through a barrier and fell 15 feet into the gorilla's exhibit. Harambe, a 400-pound silverback gorilla, was shot and killed after he grabbed the boy and started dragging him through some water. A woman who claims she was near the family says she heard the boy tell his mother that he was going to go into the exhibit, and the mother told him he would not. When the mother turned to her other children, the witness says the 4-year-old climbed into the gorilla habitat.
We, as visitors, have a responsibility to be paying attention, keeping tab on members of our family, not being distracted by technology.
I'd bet my life, that that child would not have been here today. I guarantee you, with how I know that gorilla already acted, because I saw his face, I saw how he acted.
Police say they are not investigating the Cincinnati Zoo. They are only looking into the parents. They want to know what they were doing before their 4-year-old dropped into the exhibit and Harambe was killed. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
And like we said, a lot of discussion about this, certainly around the country, and more coming up.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have their opinions.
Yeah,
who's to blame
strong
and
opinions.
how this happened, yes.
And more on that's coming up on CBS this morning at 7. Well, Lexington city officials will hold a public meeting today. They'll be taking questions over concerns about the city's plans to renovate the historic Fayette County Courthouse, which sits right in the middle of downtown.
Yeah, and it is such a beautiful place. The city released renovation plans for the vacant building last week, but now they are seeking input from the community before work begins. WKYT's Hillary Thornton joins us now live with a look ahead.
Good morning, Michelle
meeting.
And Bill. City leaders plan to take questions and discuss the $30 million renovation for about an hour later today here at the Fifth Third Bank Pavilion. The former Fayette County Courthouse has been sitting empty for about 4 years now. Last week, city leaders first unveiled the plans, explaining $8 million of the renovation is coming from state and federal historic preservation tax credits, while $22 million has been approved in the city's current year budget. Lexington Mayor Jim Gray says this will be a revenue-generating and self-sustaining project. Now, as for what the building will house, possible tenants for the renovated space in the heart of downtown include a Chef Weta Michael restaurant, Visit Lex, Breeders' Cup offices, as well as the city's Convention and Visitors Bureau, while plans for the top floor include space for weddings and other events. Now, the city did receive money to deal with some environmental concerns inside of the building that was built back in 1898. Now, work on the more than a century-old building is expected to be complete by the spring of 2018. That public meeting out here at the Fifth Third Pavilion, which is just next to the old courthouse, is scheduled to start at noon today. Live in Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
All right, Hillary, thank you very much. A southern Kentucky man is still missing this morning after his canoe capsized in the Rockcastle River. Investigators say the 70-year-old man was with his son when their canoe hit a tree and flipped in an area of the river near the Laurel-Rockcastle County line. The man's son made it to safety, but he told rescuers that he never saw his father resurface. Rescue teams will return to the river and continue searching at daybreak this morning.
For the second time this week, a Lexington pizza shop has been broken into. Someone smashed through a window at Brooklyn Pizza on Keithshire Way around 2 o'clock this morning. That same store was also broken into early Sunday morning. In that case, police say cash was stolen from the register. Police are working with the owner to see if anything was stolen this time. We've learned one of the victims in a double shooting in Knox County is the mother of 3. 38-year-old Brian Bunch faces attempted murder charges after investigators say he shot 2 women at a home on Bailey Hollow Connector Road Monday night. Police are still trying to figure out what led to the shooting. At last check, they say both women remain in critical condition at the University of Tennessee Hospital. Police are searching for those responsible in break-ins at 2 Lexington businesses. Investigators say Missy's Pies and the Black Market in Chevy Chase area were both broken into early yesterday morning. Owners of Missy's say the burglars didn't get much, but their store was not able to complete over 100 pie orders due to damage done to the store during that break-in. Investigators say cash was stolen during the Black Market break-in.
The search is continuing this morning for a missing Western Kentucky pilot who has disappeared days ago. Investigators say 70-year-old Robert Dalzell Jr. departed from Grayson County Airport in his small plane on Monday. He was supposed to be flying to Owensboro, but he never made it. Investigators say activity on Dalzell's cell phone last shows him within 5 miles of the Falls of the Rough Airport. The Civil Air Patrol and Kentucky Fish and Wildlife have been searching for Dalzell's plane. They have not been able to locate it yet.
The man Lexington police say was hit and killed on Interstate 64 will be laid to rest today. Police say 66-year-old Stanley Willoughby died after being hit by several cars in the eastbound lanes of I-64 near the Fayette-Clark County line early Monday morning. Willoughby's family says they aren't sure why he was walking along the interstate, but they say he was battling lung cancer and had just been released from the hospital a few hours before the crash. Willoughby's visitation will be at the Scobie Funeral Home from 11 to 1. His funeral will follow the visitation. Willoughby will then be buried at Winchester Cemetery. A major Pulaski County intersection is back open this morning following a chain reaction crash that involved several vehicles. It happened yesterday afternoon at the intersection of Highways 914 and 1247 in Somerset when a box truck rear-ended a tractor trailer. A garbage truck and minivan were also involved in the crash. Investigators say one person was airlifted to the hospital while 2 others were transported by ambulance. The victims' conditions are unknown this morning.
The time this morning, 6:39 on WKYT. The Kentucky Attorney General's office has filed a civil lawsuit against a Central Kentucky cemetery and its owner. Attorney General Andy Beshear claims Dale Shackelford, who's the owner of Crestlawn Cemetery in Scott County, took thousands of dollars from customers for grave monuments that were never installed. Beshear also claims that Shackelford violated Kentucky's Consumer Protection Act by failing to maintain the cemetery. People with loved ones buried at the cemetery tell us they paid nearly a year ago, but they still have not seen the monuments installed.
It's 2016 and we've still yet to see that marker placed. We have a piece of paper with tape on top of the marker in order to know where he's at.
The Scott County Sheriff's Office and the Commonwealth's attorney are also looking into possible criminal charges in the case. Shackelford has owned the Crestlawn Cemetery since 2014.
I remember going to this store as a child. A longtime Jessamine County store will soon be going out of business. According to our news partner at the Herald Leader, Carpenter's Dish Barn on US 27 plans to close by July 1st. Owners say they're shutting down because the store site sits in way of the planned redevelopment of the Nicholasville bypass. The Dish Barn has been in business for 60 years.
Yeah, for most around it has always been there, so it's going to be a change.
One of those buildings you recognize.
Yeah, right. Time this morning is 6:40, 20 before 7 on WKYT.
Let's check to see how traffic's moving along this morning.
Go out to Officer Don. He's at 98.1 The Bull with a check on live drive traffic. Good morning, Don.
Hey, good morning. Inner loop of Man-O-War around Nichols Park, that's just down from Nicholasville Road. There is a two-car collision. It's in the left lane. They're going to try to move it completely out of the way here in just a little bit, so hopefully it won't be a big factor if that's part of your route this morning. Quick look outside and we'll show you overall traffic flow around Lexington and what you can expect with no major issues to deal with. The circle looks pretty good, and no red showing up right now in the circle itself. Inbound Nicholasville Road, a little bit of red right there. It looks like it's going to be passed through, actually before the circle around Brandon Crossing. From Nicholasville's 13 minutes, from Paris is 18, and Winchester 21. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, Don, thank you very much. And you can get the latest traffic and weather information anytime with the WKYT Weather Plus Traffic app. Download that for free in the app or Google Play stores. Hey, it sure is good to have you with us on WKYT this morning on June 1st. We have a lot more news coming right up.
Yes, we do. Lucky for this man, the washing machine wasn't on the spin cycle, because guess what he was doing when his head got stuck? Oh, goodness. This coming up after what?
I don't know about that one. Storm chances are on the way. We're going to see those on the increase. We'll show you when you can expect those coming up next.
Are you tired of juggling your finances and can't afford those remodeling projects?
Surplus Sales has a huge selection of carpet at unbeatable prices.
Come on down to Surplus Sales for some great deals.
This is the Mom Biz, and ladies, it's showtime. You've got soccer practice, swim meets, drum lessons, play dates, and all the other stuff that keeps your family humming. But you know what matters? The healthy stuff, full tummies. That's why you've got Lando Frost Premium Lunch Meat, a simple, protein-packed, good-for-'em lunch. And that's how you get a mom groove. Groove with me now. Hey, Lando Frost, they're a family brand. You're a family. See what I'm getting at?
A season pass to Kentucky Kingdom is only $59.95. And with benefits like free parking and dollar drinks, a season pass pays for itself in just one visit. And enjoy the rest of the summer for free. Stop by your local Kroger to get yours today. But hurry, offer ends June 7th at midnight.
Save on Purdue chicken drumsticks or thighs, 69 cents a pound. And Southern Yellow peaches are just 99 cents a pound. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
Mama, don't you just love it?
What we do is not about sickness. It's about living. All of life's moments, big and small. Each triumph and challenge. Because you were made to live and live well. And we're here to make sure you do. Let us show you how care is supposed to be. Lexington Clinic. Your doctors for life.
Greatness isn't about creating one masterpiece and calling it a day. It's about challenging yourself to create a masterpiece every time. Come celebrate a half-century of innovations at the Kawasaki Golden Anniversary Sales Event. Save up to $2,500 plus 0% financing on select models at participating dealers. Visit Kawasaki.com to find a dealer near you.
Visit Kawasaki of Jackson the weekend of June 11th to test drive a new Kawasaki.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. Follow WKYT on Twitter. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Such a good-looking start to the day as you're walking out the door. Kids going out the door, well, it's out of school, but if they're heading out the door with you, it's a really good-looking start. So no rain in the forecast this morning. We get off toward the afternoon, and there is that possibility of seeing a couple of rumbles of thunder. I would say this, heads up, say Wayne County, McCreary County, that's probably your best opportunity to get a couple of sprinkles out of one of these passing showers that keeps going back and forth. But other than that, we are dry. 67 degrees right now in Lexington. Just stepped outside about 5-10 minutes ago. Feels great. 61 in Mount Sterling, and that goes for Flemingsburg, Hillsborough, and also Frankfort, Peaks Mill, Stamping Ground, all of you guys sitting there in the low 60s. So let's talk about this US 25 yard sale. This is a big event, and listen, there are multiple events going on. So this is kind of the breakdown for all you guys there for the Brass Band Festival kicking off in Danville tomorrow. So here's the breakdown for it. Few storms tomorrow, about 40% chance. That goes for Friday too. Both of these days at about 40%. I'd say on Friday it's better opportunity south of I-64. That's probably your best bet to actually see some of this rain. So Moorhead Trail Fest there Saturday morning. There's that possibility that you could get a little rain during that time. But for the most part, we're really looking at a 40% chance tomorrow, Friday, and then about a 60% chance on Saturday. So you might have to pull some of those in the garage or put a tarp over them at times. Keep that in mind. Let me break it down for you a little bit in more detail. Here's hour-by-hour forecast. If you're trying to do the US 25 yard sale tomorrow, you'll want to do it during the morning hours. Afternoon, doesn't look so good. Watch what happens. Boom, you spark up some of these showers and thunderstorms. And tomorrow's very spotty. This isn't one line moving on through. But watch what happens as we head off towards your Friday. Watch the front try to squeeze southbound. Okay, yesterday this was not showing this. This was actually showing it across much of the viewing area. So we're going to have to watch and see how far south that front dips. But as of right now, I'd say south of I-64 is your best bet there on Friday. Which means the Capital Expo Festival there starting off tomorrow into Saturday in Frankfort. For the most part, it's not all that bad. I would say there's about a 30-40% chance of rain there Friday and Saturday for you guys. But the southern half, south of I-64, I would say you guys have the best shot at actually seeing the rain the next few days. None of these are washouts. But if you do get under one of these thunderstorms, guys, it's pretty heavy downpours. A lot of tropical moisture out there, so just keep that in mind. I might have to dodge some of these storms. But like I said, stick to your plans. I always say this, unless it's a 80, 90, 100%, stick to your plans because much of your time is going to be dry as opposed to being wet. So head out.
Yeah, the good old summertime, it's never so bad because it's
That's right.
warm generally.
You know, and kids love it. I don't know about your little boy, but my girls will just go run in the rain and jump in the puddles. It makes their day.
Absolutely. I'm with them on that.
Even more fun, right? Yep. 6:47 is the time this morning here on your Wednesday.
I can't wait to see this video. Firefighters in China had to free a man who got his head stuck in a washing machine.
Yeah, this happens apparently.
How does this happen?
Look at it. The man's roommates called police after he got stuck. Firefighters say it happened while the man was trying to fix the machine's drum, so he was in there for legitimate reasons. Crews removed the drum, broke it apart, finally freed the man. Took him about an hour. The South China Morning Post reports that the man only has some minor injuries, but it's a bit of a problem.
I still just can't figure out how he did this. I mean, I thought he was like in college and doing something silly with his friends, but he was actually fixing the machine.
Well, I don't know. Put his head in there and it got stuck.
He needed to call a repair guy.
End of story, and he's going to be okay. All right, 6:48 on WKYT here on your Wednesday, June 1st. Good to have you with us. We'll have our top stories for you coming right up.
Yeah, we'll have more news when we come back.
Coming up, evidence of aggressive sales tactics revealed in the lawsuit against Trump University. Plus, why are dollar stores the new darlings of Wall Street? We'll talk with our financial expert, Melody Hobson. More real news coming up on CBS This Morning, next.
Truckers high on the job.
It enrages me because not only is he taking his life in his hands, he's taking my family's life and the general public.
An increasing danger that could threaten your summer road trips. High behind the wheel. Thursday at 6 on WKYT.
A new door can make a huge compliment to windows and siding.
That's why Window World, America's largest home remodeling company,
Carries patio doors, entry doors, and storm doors.
all backed by our lifetime limited warranty and guaranteed low price. Window World, simply the best doors for less.
If you have a loved one in a nursing home, you already have the 3 most important tools for detecting nursing home abuse: your eyes, your ears, and your nose. Hi, I'm Kevin Renfro. Keeping your senses alert to conditions that surround your relative can mean the difference between a safe, caring environment and instances of elder abuse. Go to BeckerLaw.com for details on what to look for. If you suspect there's a problem, give us a call. Serious, experienced, results. Call the Becker Law Office. Just dial 3.
Central Equipment and Kubota, 2 names synonymous with quality. In 1982, our family business, Central Equipment, began selling Kubota equipment. Today, we've expanded our offerings to include the full line of Kubota products, from mowing and compact tractors to hay equipment, spreaders, utility vehicles, and large tractors for your farm. This season, trust the experts at Central Equipment and see the latest lineup of Kubota products with 0% financing available.
Come celebrate National Barbecue Month with all-you-can-eat St. Louis ribs at Sonny's Barbecue. An endless helping of sweet and smoky or dry rub ribs for just $14.99 for a limited time. Sonny's Barbecue, local pit masters since '68.
You may be entitled to $1,500 for each call you've received from any company collecting a debt. Seems too good to be true, but it's the law.
Any beverage connoisseur will tell you that real Kentucky bourbon has an excellent mouthfeel. Well, consider this, beverage connoisseur. What kind of mouth feelings would happen if Arby's made sauce with real Kentucky bourbon and put it on brown sugar bacon? How would your mouth feel about that? Your mouth feel pretty good? Arby's, we have the meats.
The Good Housekeeping Seal represents a promise.
From one of the most respected testing labs in America.
Window World is one of 3 companies in this entire nation whose windows have earned this seal.
Window World, simply the best for less.
The time this morning is about 6:52, about 8 minutes ahead of 7 o'clock, and CBS This Morning, which is on the way. And we'll be having a closer look at musicians' fights to get fans to put down their phones and enjoy the show. That's coming up. They're rehearsing. You see Charlie there in his tennis shoes this morning.
I gotta love those tennis shoes. Look at them.
Styling.
Love Charlie Rose.
All right. CBS This Morning is coming up shortly at 7 right here. Well, criminals are keeping Lexington police quite busy this morning. They're looking for suspects behind 2 overnight gas station robberies.
The latest one happened just before 5 at the Circle K on West Main Street. Police say a man had his face covered and implied he had a weapon when he stole about $100.
No one was hurt there, but that was not the case at the Marathon on South Broadway. That's where police say a gunman hit the clerk with a gun during a robbery. She is doing okay this morning.
Today, the city of Lexington is seeking input on plans for the old courthouse in downtown Lexington. Now, it's been closed for years because of environmental concerns like lead-based paint and mold. Last month, the city unveiled a $30 million plan to renovate the courthouse. Plans include a bourbon bar, restaurant, and event space. Today's public meeting starts at noon in the Fifth Third Bank Pavilion at Cheapside.
A surfer is in critical condition this morning after being attacked by a shark off of Australia's western coast. Investigators say the shark tore off one of the man's legs. It happened in a popular surfing spot. The victim was with about 20 other surfers at the time. 2 of them paddled the man to the beach after the attack.
Teenagers are beginning their summer break, but that means more teens will be on the road, and the number of deadly accidents is expected to increase. Don Champion reports.
Dash cam video shows how quickly distracted driving can lead to an accident. Whether it's a teen texting behind the wheel or just talking to another passenger. In these cases, no one was hurt badly, but Teron Wooldridge has seen the results turn tragic. His teenage sisters, Jade and Brianna, were killed on a Texas highway in March. They were in the back seat of this car when the teen driver looked at her phone's GPS and steered into an oncoming 18-wheeler.
What is it like to get that phone call?
Well, we were actually at a friend's house, and my father called me, and we were basically in disbelief. We were in shock.
AAA says 60% of teen crashes involve distraction, and the number of deaths increases significantly during the summer months. AAA calls it the 100 deadliest days, starting on Memorial Day. During that time, more than 1,000 people die in crashes involving teen drivers, 16% more than other days of the year.
It's very important for parents to be mindful of this during that period of time and to really be involved in the teen's life during that time.
Wooldridge shared a message with teens at his sister's funeral.
This device also could only take a moment and your life can be changed.
He hopes to keep other families from having to suffer the same tragedy. Don Champion, CBS News, Houston.
Our time this morning is 6:55, and on WKYT.com we'll stay on top of the search for the man who is missing in the Rockcastle River after his canoe capsized. His son managed to swim to safety. They are going to re-begin their search very shortly there on the shores of that river. You can also see our story about a Lexington neighborhood on edge today. Many people who live in the Cardinal Valley area expressing concerns about the safety of their families. On WKYT.com, also trending, investigators in Cincinnati are looking into the parents of the child who was dragged by a gorilla before it was shot and killed by zoo staff members. The mother of the child says she has gotten death threats. This, of course, has stirred a lot of conversation around the country. As we get word of a child born in New Jersey with Zika-related birth defects, Kentucky is doubling down with a strategy for preventing problems here. You can check out our story as the state gets information out about how to avoid Zika. The Kentucky-Louisville game will be played just before Christmas this year. Rick Pitino made the scheduled announcement about the rivalry game that will be held right in the middle of the Yuletide season on Kentucky.com this morning. We also have this story for you. Aaron Thompson is going to be interim president at Kentucky State University. Thompson grew up in rural Kentucky, now has a national following as an expert on education and diversity. A business that's been in operation for 60 years is closing. Carpenter's Dish Barn in Nicholasville is closing down because of planned development in that area, and they'll be done by July 1st. CBS This Morning is coming up at 7 with your eye opener, including new evidence in the search for that missing Air Egypt plane, and we'll have local updates as well. Join us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and for the latest, WKYT.com.
Traffic-wise, have not heard of any issues. Officer Don tells us that we are good to go throughout much of the viewing area. Kentucky Camps Frankfort looks good there at 61 degrees. Remember, we are now off into summer for the kiddos, and things look pretty good, guys. As we continue to travel off through the rest of the morning, I would say 5 p.m. to about 11 p.m. That's when we can expect a couple of rumbles of thunder. That's your best chance for that.
Aren't those great shots out there this morning? Just looks good.
Sunrise is gorgeous.
Great start to the day. Nobody is more up to date than you to start your day. And thank you so much for being with us. Don't forget the news is always on at WKYT.com.
Have a great day, everyone. Thanks so much.